I tried everything, but this is not working for me. I did the same like you did in the video, but still, this is not working for me. I don't know how, but my code worked. So there are many such questions which strikes our mind whenever we are working on some programming stuff. So this is all that we are going to discuss in today's session, and also I will help you and I will guide you through the 5 important steps which you should know as a fresher as well as an experienced person in the field of programming, or let's say in the field of development, so that you will become more like a professional, or let's say you will work more like a professional and very less like a fresher. So this is all that we are going to discuss in today's session. So firstly, my name is Ashish Saini and today I am back to innovate yourself with a new video which will help you become more professional and less like a fresher. So let's start with it. Firstly, all languages are the same, which means there are many languages which you may know. Let's say you know about the conversation language which we humans use to talk to each other, or any programming language which you use to write a program and to make your machines understand about it. So right now let's talk about the programming languages, and there is one common similarity in between all the programming languages, and that one similarity is that the meaning of all the programming languages are the same. The only difference in between all the programming languages is that all the programming language have a different way of writing it, or let's say they are having a different syntax to write the same thing. Let's take an example. Let's talk about the C language and the Python programming language, right? So in Python programming, if you have to write a simple message, or let's say if you have to print a simple hello world, what you will do is you will write it in a different way. Or let's say in Python programming you will simply write like print within brackets within quotations hello world, and that will be giving you the direct output which is hello world. But if you're going to write the same thing in the C language or any other programming language, in there you have to write a complete let's say 5 to 6 lines of a code, which means the way of writing the same program in different languages is different, which is called as a syntax for each programming language. So this is how, and this is the main thing which you should keep in mind while writing or working with any programming language, which will help you to understand and to consider that there is no such difference between any other programming languages, and all the programming languages are very easy to understand, right? So this is the most important thing that you should keep in mind while working on any programming language. So this is the first step. Secondly, this is easy, which means whenever you are going to start working on a new project or on a new task, there you should consider that whatever task you are going to work on is very easy, so that it will keep you motivated towards your work. Because if you think that this task is very easy, you will not take it as a burden. You will think like this is just a child work for me and I will do it, I will just finish it in just a matter of time, right? So this is how you're going to take it, and this is how it will keep you motivated towards the work, and this will help you to finish your project as soon as possible. So this is how you will really enjoy your work. So this is why you should consider that this is a very easy task and you can finish it in just a matter of time. So this is all about. Thirdly, the coding style. So what does the coding style mean? This means that what you should keep in mind while working on some project or while working on some task. So there, what you should keep in mind is that you should treat your complete project or your complete task as a small task, and you have to further divide it into further smaller tasks. Now, what does I mean by that? So the meaning for that is, let's say I have given you a task, and in that task what you have to do is you have to find a number, that whether that number is an even number or an odd number, right? So this is what you have to find. So there, what you will do is you will just first divide this part into different sections. Let's say firstly what I will do, I will just consider that this is a number, let's say for example 2. How will I know that this number is an odd number or an even number? In there I will simply consider, or let's say I will start calculating it in my mind, that if the number is 2, how do I say that this number is an even number or this is an odd number? So there I will try to find out a logic. So the logic is, if that number is divided by 2 and it will leave a remainder as 0, which means this is an even number. Similarly, if you will get the remainder as 1, that means this is an odd number. So this is the logic that you will try to build in your mind And when you have built the logic, now you have to convert that logic into the programming part. So in the programming part, I will start using the comparison operators, and there you will get a comparison operator, and that is like the modulus. You know, like what does this modulus do, right? So that modulus will give you the reminder, and what you will do, you will further apply the condition that whether this reminder is equal to 0 or equal to 1. So whatever is the output, whether it's 0 or 1, you will simply say that this is an even number, this is an odd number respectively. So this is how you have to start working on project or any of the tasks which you have got to do. So in this way, you have to start making your logic and to start making your coding style. So this will really help you finish your task in the easiest and the faster way, because you are going to move step by step, just like you are walking on a stairs, right? So this is all about the coding style. And the fourth step is naming convention. Like being a trainer, I have already seen many freshers as well as the professional making this mistake. What they generally do is they start writing the code without the proper naming convention, which is not the proper way of writing a very professional level of code. So avoid making this mistake and start writing a proper naming convention. So if you don't understand what is this naming convention, so let me just make you clear about this concept, that naming convention is simply writing a name for creating a class, for creating a function, for creating an instance, for creating some variable or anything. So which simply means instead of writing any random name, let's say I'm going to create a variable and I'm writing a simple name, let's say A, B, C or something like that, and accordingly assigning the value to it. So that is not a proper way of writing the program. So instead of using any random name, start writing a meaningful word which will help you understand that program in the present state as well as in future. And also not only you, other than you, any other person who is not aware about the program, at least they should be able to understand your code whenever they will see it, just because you're writing and giving a proper naming convention. So this is the reason why you should give a proper naming convention to your code, so that it will be helpful and understandable to anybody. So this is all about the naming convention. So the fifth step is slow to fast. To understand this concept, let me just take an example. So in that case, let's consider you have got a new project, and that project is completely a new project in which the very first requirement is that you have to take the input from the user and to further process it at a faster rate, which means you can take the input from the user and that input can be of any size, whether it's 1 MB, whether it's 10 MB, whether it's 1 GB, right? So it can be of any size. There is no limitation for that, but at least you should be able to process it as much as faster you can do it on your end. So this is the first requirement for that, right? So this is the first step. And if in case I'm going to start working on the things and I will consider all the previous steps that I have told you in the today's session, right? So I have considered all the steps and I'm able to make the project work, but that will be a faster process. I cannot guarantee that, because the chances of making your project work in the first go at a very faster rate is very less. So the first and the very important thing that we should focus is that at least we should be able to run a project, whether it's the slow step, whether it's the faster step, doesn't matter, but at least we should be able to run it. And after that, once you are able to run it, now after that we will try to change the techniques. Let's say I'm using a simple for loop and that can be replaced with a inline for loop, or let's say that can be replaced with a list comprehension, so that at least we should be able to do the same thing, we should be able to do the same task which I'm able to do it in 10 seconds. Similarly, I will be able to do the same thing with the list comprehension in just 1 second. So this is how I can reduce the timing taken for processing the same thing. So this is how I can change the techniques and I can make my project work much faster than the previous step. So these are the things like how I can reduce the timing for processing, and accordingly I can make my project work. So this is all about the slow to fast step, and in this way I will be able to run and create my project which will be much faster than the previous one. And these are all the steps which will really help you to become more like a professional and very less like a fresher. So now I think that you have understood the importance of all the steps which I have explained you today, and also now I wish that you will really apply them into your day-to-day life, so that you will become more like a professional and less like a beginner. Because I want you to work as a professional since the beginning, which will really help you to grow up in your career, so that you will see a very drastic change in your career and to move ahead in the positive direction. Because I know If you will apply these steps into your life, then you will really get motivated and to get the chance to grow up in your career. So this is all about this, and I hope that you have liked our videos. If you have liked this video, then do click on the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then do click on the subscribe button so that you do not miss any videos from my channel. Till then, bye bye and happy learning.